This event that happened last weekend directly called out Tucker Carlson.
I'm pretty sure the biggest criticism was just that he platformed Nick Fuentes.
Jew haters, you're damn right we're going to cancel them and deplatform them.
Is her whole thing right now going to be like, yeah, dude, it should be totally chill to be racist? I don't understand.
You believe in canceling and deplatforming people that you do not like.
I'm okay with Nazis getting banned.
Here he is 10 years later trying to gatekeep the movement because he doesn't like a few people and a few very loud voices.
What do you mean, just a few people and a few loud voices? Right now he's like a conservative cultural icon.
I mean, he literally wrote a book on the power and importance of free speech.
He's not saying we need to have the government ban Nick Fuentes, but he's like, hey, we shouldn't support this guy.
Haven't we all talked about how dangerous it is and how irresponsible it was for leftists to just call anybody they hate a Nazi?
Hitler was a pedophile and kind of a pagan. Well, he was also really fucking cool.
Brett, what is wrong with you? This entire video is like unhinged rantings of, in my opinion, a simp for Nick Fuentes. All right, guys, this looks interesting. I mean, listen, all I gotta say is the right is consuming itself. I saw a clip of Brett Cooper talking about criticizing Ted Cruz because Ted Cruz called Nick Fuentes a Nazi. The guy who's famously said he likes Hitler. I don't, by the way. Don't ban me. And for whatever reason, I guess Brett decided to criticize Ted Cruz. I think we're getting into conservative woke. So let's just watch.
So the Republican Jewish Coalition Conference happened this weekend, and watching all of those speeches literally made me feel like we are living in the middle of a sitcom. But it's worse. It shouldn't be funny. It's not funny because these Republicans are using the exact same tactics that the left has been using against us for years. And they believe that they are saving conservatism, and they're worried about what they perceive as radical, dangerous ideas taking over conservatism and our political party. But
I would say that if you're referring to Nick Fuentes, that is probably true. Yeah.
Really just seems to me like they are deepening the divide on the right as they ignore the obvious shift in ideology and attitudes of their base.
I mean, just because you have a shift in ideology doesn't mean it's a good shift in ideology. Just to be clear, you know, I don't, you know what I mean? So, okay.
You can scream all you want about Tucker Carlson, but you will never attack him into irrelevance. In fact, by doing so, you might just make people love him more.
Maybe some more crazy people. You know, although I think it's important to note that Tucker got fired from Fox News for knowingly lying about Dominion voting machines. So, and then he costed Fox News almost $1 billion. So I think that's probably something that you should all keep in mind. But hey, if you like him, you like him, man. He's a handsome fella. You know.
So hello.
That sounded like really weird. I don't know why. That sounded like somebody's like STEM sound, you know.
From New York, everyone.
Hey, I'm from New York too. What the fuck?
Coming to you live from my hotel room. So if you hear taxis and sirens in the background.
What the hell is she in New York for? Maybe for I guess she's in New York for the Mom Donnie thing. I heard that he won. Well, good for him, man. Hopefully things. I mean, New York's been a fucking shit show forever. Everybody's like, New York sucks, New York sucks, New York sucks. It's broken, it's ruined. I kind of agree. And then people are like, oh my God, Mom Donnie. I think that's how you say his name, right? He's going to ruin New York. It's like, I mean, it's already kind of ruined, right? So like, fuck it. Might as well try something different. Isn't that what Trump was? Trying something different? I don't know. See what happens. That
is what is happening. This is a very interesting and unique, kind of exciting week to be in New York City because obviously the mayoral election is happening today.
But true, and plus, I don't know if you guys know, the Exorcistic play has been going pretty well. I don't know if you guys know what Exorcistic is. It's a play it's about people who are putting on the play Exorcist, but then they actually get when somebody gets possessed. It's like a funny little comedy. It's pretty fun. My wife's saw it a couple times, so you know that's in New York, baby.
As we speak, because it is Tuesday, so if you have not...
She saw the one with, she saw it twice. Lance Bass was there one day, and then so was, some person from Legally Blonde. I don't fucking understand.
Not gone out and voted yet, and you live in New York City, please go do so. Also, if you are in Jersey, go vote, because you guys might be flipping red. If you elect a Republican governor, which it seems like you are very close to doing, that would be incredible. So, pause this video, go vote if you have not done so.
I personally think we need, more conservative, local officials, but a more democratic president. I don't know. This makes more sense to me. You know?
Then come back and we can keep talking about the insanity that just took place at this Republican Jewish Coalition event. But first, I wanted you guys to hear that message of unity because that is important. So go vote, do your civic duty. You can elect all the Republican presidents you want, but if you want change in your community, in your city, you need to go out and vote. All right, moving on from that, let's dive into this, because this event that happened last weekend, it very quickly just became the anti-Tucker Carlson conference. I mean,
whoa. Not TC, dude.
Look at these signs that they had printed out.
Tucker is not MAGA. Oh, shit. Well, okay.
That attendees were holding up in front of the stage. They say, Tucker is not MAGA. These were the people walking around the event, standing in front of the speakers, holding up these signs. But it didn't just stop with the signs. Basically, every single speaker that got up on stage either directly called out Tucker Carlson or alluded to his...
I mean, was it because he platformed Nick Fuentes in a friendly way? I can kind of understand that. The thing, because Nick Fuentes is a racist person.
His impact in the conservative movement. And one of the loudest voices was Mark Levin, who decided that actually he's changed his mind. And when it comes to Tucker Carlson, he does like cancel culture. Let's just take a watch.
Whoa, what is cancel culture to you?
Hitler admirers, Stalin admirers, Jew haters, American haters, Churchill haters. You're damn right we're going to cancel them and deplatform them.
All right, I mean, I agree. This makes me feel more comfortable about potentially being part of the Conservative Party.
Called the market system. They don't have a...
Cancel racists. Well, okay. Well, you know what? I will say one thing. It is a little bit hypocritical for the party of racism to be now all of a sudden upset just about Jewish racism. You know what I mean? You'll be consistent. You guys hate everybody else. You might as well not... I love Jewish people, but you guys got to be consistent, I guess. You know, is that Brett Cooper's argument? I mean, you guys have been putting a fucking target on the back of illegal immigrants, saying that all of them that are coming here are fucking dangerous and trying to hurt you. When it comes to the EBT conference, we can say hey, we need to get control of immigration is going too far. I agree with the legal that. Let's get rid of illegal immigration. I agree with that. But the vilification of people that are just trying to come here to provide for themselves, I think is ridiculous, especially since we destabilize their countries a lot of times. But then what's the narrative about EBT? All you see all over fucking Fox News and shit is like, oh, look at this, guys. We're going to show you a bunch of examples of black people apparently taking advantage of EBT. We're going to highlight those. I wonder why. Oh, what the fuck? We're not going to show any white versions of it. I wonder if we call that a lie by omission. What the fuck is that, dude? You know, so it's like, hey, what are you doing?
Lifetime job like a bureaucrat who we're going to protect. And if they're your friend, there's something wrong with you.
Bro.
No Hitler admirer, Holocaust denier, platformer should be anybody's friend, as a matter of fact.
Whoa. I agree.
You don't get to wrap your psychotic, mental, unhinged, Nazi, Klan, jihadist bullshit.
Where the hell did jihadist come from? I'm a little confused.
Around American patriots.
Dude, I'm banning you from the chat. I have to ban you from the chat, dude. I know you're trolling me. This guy's name is Charlie Floyd. You got to get banned, dude. There's just, I can't have that in here. You're being fucking insane.
You don't get to claim you're MAGA and America first when you're lining up with the Marxists and the Islamists and Hamas and the terrorists.
How the hell are you lining up with them? I'm pretty sure Nick Fuentes doesn't like them either. I don't know if you know this. He doesn't just dislike Jewish people. He dislikes everybody, including Muslim people. So
that's not America first. That's sick.
Okay, so as a reminder, this event happened, all of these speeches have taken place on the heels of Tucker's interview with Nick Fuentes. So that is what Mark is talking about here. That is what Mark is alluding to when he says, people who platform XYZ people like Nick Fuentes. And I'm so glad, Mark, that you are finally just being open, that you are telling everyone how inconsistent and hypocritical you are, that your values only apply to the left. Because let's just unpack everything we just heard in that 1-minute clip.
I just don't understand why you're... Like, is her whole thing right now going to be like, yeah, dude, it should be totally chilled and not like to be racist? I don't understand. What the fuck?
First of all, you think that the market system is canceling people and deplatforming people who you disagree with? Not even people who you disagree with. You believe in canceling and deplatforming people who platform people that you do not like. That is truly insane. That goes against all of the principles.
I mean, listen, I'm okay with Nazis getting banned. I don't know. This feels like something we don't really have to have a conversation about, but I guess we do. I guess the conversation needs to be had. I'm a little confused, but okay.
What I believe to be the principles of conservatism. You think that we should protect lifelong bureaucrats? Did you hear that when he said, you're not a bureaucrat who we are going to protect? That's insane. And also, who are you to be deciding who can be part of MAGA. I mean, that's just so ironic.
I think that MAGA is just kind of a collective of people, and so he's just like, hey, I am MAGA, you can't go here, and then I guess that's just kind of how life works. I don't know. I mean, he can't technically get rid of it, but like he's just saying we disavow some of the bad people in our group. You know what I mean? We don't disavow all of them, of course. We love to rile up racial tensions across the board all the time, but in this instance, you've gone a little bit too far. You know, that's kind of the argument. Oh, whoa.
Considering the fact that Mark Levin was one of the leaders and one of the loudest voices of the Never Trump movement that started way back in 2015. And
whoa, wasn't J.D. Vance too? Didn't he call him like Hitler? Didn't he call? Right, so I guess things can change, huh?
Now, here he is 10 years later trying to gatekeep the movement because he doesn't like a few people and a few very loud voices. Now, a
few people, not for nothing. It doesn't matter whether you like Nick Fuentes or not. He's right now he's like a conservative cultural icon. What do you mean? Just a few people and a few loud voices? What the fuck is she talking about? Is she unhinged? What are you talking about?
I genuinely do not care if you hate Tucker. You have every right to. You are absolutely free to dislike him, to speak out against him, all of that. But your position is majorly weakened, and you become a laughingstock.
To be clear, I don't say icon in like a positive way. I'm just saying like he's very influential. So,
honest, if you are willing to compromise all of your stated principles, the principles that you have held for decades at this point, and demand that somebody be canceled because you hate him or because you hate somebody that he has put on his platform. And that is exactly what Mark Levin is doing here. I mean, he literally wrote a book on the power and importance of free speech and fighting back against cancel culture. In that book, he said, and I quote, "Free speech is a requisite to all other freedoms. It is also how individuals and societies learn, reform, improve, progress, etc. It is how governments are held to account or adjust to the will of the people." That's what he wrote.
Okay, that's fine. I don't understand. Like, he's not talking about you having the government ban anybody. This is freedom of speech. Somebody saying like vile shit about groups of people, and people saying, I don't like that. That's free speech on both sides. Why are you dude, this is so, just to be clear, like, Brett, I'm letting you guys know, whether you want to believe me or not, this is going to be really bad for Brett because it's going to show her lack of intelligence. And I don't say that to be rude or mean, but your whole argument here is like, hey, you have some people on MAGA that are like, we don't like anti-Jewish sentiment. Okay, I think that's perfectly fine. Oh my fucking god. We don't like anti-Jewish sentiment. Okay, that's perfectly fine and perfectly fair. And they're like, but we don't want to associate with this person. We need to stop supporting this person. Okay, again, I think that's perfectly fine and perfectly fair. Right? So now we have Nick Fuentes saying, Tucker Carlson platforming a, white supremacist Nazi in a friendly manner. And then you have other people like, hey, we don't like that. That's not cancel culture. That's saying I'm not going to support this person that does this. It's not cancel culture. And when you say that, when you literally say that, all you're doing is making yourself look silly. Like, you just look ridiculous. You don't look good there. You look like, oh, you don't know what free speech is. You can't, like, just because somebody gets canceled or people criticize somebody doesn't make it cancel culture. Like, is it cancel culture that you don't like Joe Biden? Like, I don't understand. How far do we go with this ridiculous opinion?
That is what Mark Levin wrote in his book. And also, this is what he said on his show just a month ago. This is what he quoted about free speech.
Okay. Free speech is crucial to countering the government and those in power.
True.
It is crucial to sharing information and making decisions as a people, as a collective, about our society. I've written about it often, including in On Power. I have an entire chapter on language and speech. Every true patriot should believe in it and defend it. Period.
Okay, so every true patriot should be defending free speech, Mark? Is that what you're saying? I mean, come on, like, this is so incredibly hypocritical. I mean, it would have been far more
I don't understand what's so hypocritical about
powerful and far more consistent if you, Mark Levin, had gotten up on stage and said, look, I disagree with everything that Tucker is doing. You could even say, I, Mark Levin, hate Tucker Carlson, but he also has a right to say and do everything he's doing. And I guess that means we're just going to have to work harder to win and bring people back to our side. And here's how we're going to do it. You were not.
Why are you tone policing? This is so cringe. You're tone policing him. It's just weird. Like, what? I don't understand. He's not saying we need to have the government ban Nick Fuentes. I don't think that we should do that either. That would be a violation of free speech. And it's a slippery slope. But he's like, hey, we shouldn't support this guy. And, oh, okay. It's a collective of people saying we shouldn't support somebody. And also, like, he's a fucking Nazi, dude. Like, what happened? What happened to the days where we were like, that's really bad? Why is that? Like, why are you guys pretending it's not bad? I don't understand. You know, why are you at least going to acknowledge why he doesn't like Tucker? Like, what the fuck?
You were not solutions oriented. You were not freedom oriented. Your response was simply to wag fingers and demand that somebody you don't like be deplatformed. That is what the left does. That is not what we do. And yet Mark Levin and basically every speaker who took the stage spent all of their time during their speeches attacking Tucker and by proxy his audience and anybody who was questioning America's relationship with Israel or the blanket labels of anti-Semitism, like the label that I really care about right now.
I'm pretty sure the biggest criticism was just that he platformed Nick Fuentes. Nothing else. Like, that's it. Am I wrong about that? Them having a problem with Tucker Carlson platforming a white supremacist, like, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't think that they care about the white supremacist part. I think that it's because white supremacists don't like Jewish people. Like, if white supremacists like Jewish people, they wouldn't have they would be fine with the white supremacy part, because like white supremacists don't think that Jewish people are like white. That's what they think, because they're fucking stupid. Or if you have white skin, you're white. I mean, it's pretty basic stuff. But like, you know, there is, especially from a religious context, a very deep loyalty from Christians to Israel, right? So, you know, all of a sudden we get very defensive when there's a cloud of Jewish people. Now, to be clear, you obviously shouldn't be a white supremacist, and you shouldn't hate Jews or anybody else. But I don't think that this is like authentic concern for Jewish people. Like, you know, like a lot of these people, they're totally fine with like anti-fucking sentiments of like what the fuck is happening? Holy fuck. They're totally fine with like other anti-racial sentiments.
Right now is product of the USA, and thankfully I don't have to worry about that with Good Ranchers. Because I used to think that I knew what I was buying at the grocery store until
we're doing an ad.
I learned that over 85% of grass-fed beef sold in America is imported, and yet it is still labeled product of the USA that is totally legal in the United States, which is
well, yeah, because I think that they like planted here or something. They still do some kind of work on it here.
Crazy. And that whole thing had me questioning everything, like what am I actually eating, what am I buying? And that is why I trust and can recommend Good Ranchers. Good Ranchers meat is 100% American. It is raised on local farms. It's delivered straight to your door for ultimate...
Hey, you know, here's my thing. We're going to cancel the farmers, okay? If you, if you're, whatever it's called, if you voted Trump, I'm going to buy the cheaper beef. I have no problem buying from the United States, but you guys vote for Trump, who's like fucking shit up with tariffs. So if your shit becomes more expensive, I'm going to buy the cheaper stuff. Sorry.
Convenience, you are supporting an amazing company, and you are supporting local American farmers. And if you're worried about committing to a subscription, you can pause, delay, or cancel it at any time. And with the holidays coming up, guys, now is a perfect time to subscribe to Good Ranchers.
I forgot you might have heard of this, but I saw already Venti doing blackface. Yeah, I mean, I thought she was like part black or something, but also I know she's just looking for attention. As a man, like I'm probably more patient than others because I'm not like as affected by everything going on because I make a lot of money. So like, I'm very lucky, and I don't say that to brag or anything. I'm just saying, like, you know, if the prices for things go up, I'm not going to be as affected. So like I'm not as worked up as other people are, and a lot of people getting worked up about Brittany Venti and like whatever that other girl's name was that did blackface. Like to me it's like, okay, in 5 years like the narrative is going to shift pretty drastically, and so I'm not like as worked up about it. So I'm just like, oh, they're gonna get fucked. Like in 5 years they're gonna be like destroyed. People are gonna be like, wow, this was like really cringe. You know, people who act like shit when they that's the problem with playing the line a lot of times. But especially when you do stuff like this, it's like people act like shit because they feel like they have license to act like shit and be like very just shitty and rude. And then things are going to swing back and people are going to go like, oh, that was really unreasonable and gross. Now that we have the power, we're going to, cancel you or whatever. That's why, you should try not to be so insane. The same thing with like the anti-Charlie Kirk sentiment when he passed. Like, I think it's fine to criticize him. He wasn't a particularly good person, but like mocking his death and celebrating it, that was obviously disgusting. So things like that, things like doing blackface, I think people are going to notice that and be like, ew, gross. Like years from now, once things shift back, hopefully, to a more normal spot.
And by the way, a subscription also makes the perfect gift. I said that when I was postpartum, like this would be the most amazing gift for a family that is expecting a new...
I hate it when people say postpartum. I feel like when I hear postpartum, I think of postpartum depression, It's It's like, just say after you had a baby, you know what I'm saying?
Baby, it's the perfect Christmas gift, holiday gift, whatever you need, it is great. So just go to goodranchers.com and use my code Brett to get $100 off your first 3 orders. That's $40 off the first, $30 off the second, and $30 off the third. Plus, you get free meat for life when you subscribe. Again, that is code Brett at checkout at goodranchers.com. But hurry, because this offer ends on December 1st, so do not wait. And guys, you know what would make the holidays even more special? Is knowing that your mortgage in your home is in good hands with Fellowship Home Loans. And Fellowship Home Loans is making homeownership possible for our
I love this so much. Thank you, Brett.
generation. And I get it, that feels like laughable and impossible in 2025 because prices keep climbing, interest rates are not dropping quickly enough, and it feels like young people will never catch up. But that is why I love and I trust Fellowship Home Loans. The owners, their names are Mike and Brian. They are about getting you in sooner, not someday. They have smart tools like low down payments, first-time homeowner loans, seller concessions, and temporary rate buy-downs, stuff that makes home ownership doable right now, no matter how old you are. And if you already own a home, you could pull out your equity in mere days with some of their programs. That is money for paying off debt, starting a business, or just putting it in your savings account and breathing a little easier. So if you're interested in learning more, just go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Brett and get a $500 credit.
You know the deal, guys. We leave the ads.
Closing, terms apply. See their site for details. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending by the book. Disclaimer, Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819382. Now back to the story and back
guys, I've been saying this forever, you know what I'm saying?
to our good friend, Mark Levin. Later in his speech, Mark also made sure to emphasize that it wasn't just about Tucker and the people that he was platforming. It was about all of us who, like Tucker, are in his audience, and anybody who shares these ideas online. Just take a watch.
You think you're stupid little...
Wait, do you share the ideas on? I just, you know, one of the things I'm going to say is I don't think that Brett Cooper shares the ideas of Nick Fuentes, but she's being awfully cowardly about disavowing it. And I find that to be just like, I hate this, and I think this is something that I really want to enforce to people, is this whole lie by omission thing. Like, if you don't bring something up, you're probably a liar, especially if you're smart. Brett Cooper's not stupid. She's a very smart person. So when she sits here and she goes on and on and on and going like, hey guys, you know, I don't like that this guy is saying that Tucker's a bad guy for platforming Nick Fuentes and going on about how she's an audience member and blah, 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 blah. When you don't say, like, by the way, what he thinks is disgusting, that's a lie by omission. If you wanted to say, hey, I think this is cancel culture, whatever the fuck this appalled guy's saying, not this one. That's fine, whatever. I mean, I disagree with you. It's him being like, hey, I don't like anti-Semitism, even though he's probably fine with racism, but whatever. That's fine, but bring up the context of what the dude is, what Nick Fuentes is. This guy has literally said, like, he thinks Hitler is cool. That is bad, and you're a Nazi if you think that. I don't think it's unreasonable to think that. That's fucking crazy. So, like, really, a lie. Like, this is a liar by omission, dude. Not saying that, not front loading that in this conversation. It's a lie by omission.
Little podcast, or your stupid little subscription
stupid
program,
little podcast,
or your little TV show.
Now, that's just not to say that this guy couldn't have been, like, smarter about the way that he interacted here. He could have been like, hey, listen, guys, like, you know, I'm a longtime fan of Tucker or something, and you know what? I don't like what he's doing in platforming this individual who does not like Jewish people. I think it's a shame, but I personally am not going to be able to interact with his content, you know, because I find that to be morally important. I think that that's probably better optically. Like, you know, if you're somebody who understands that optics, but, you know, I don't know if Maga does. I don't know if this guy does, you know, but that would be the better idea. But he's not necessarily wrong here.
Or maybe you have a little radio show. Is going to change the world.
I mean, the radio show where Tucker was like, oh, Russia's so good.
Like hell it is.
I mean, thankfully for us, Mark just said the quiet part out loud.
Oh.
They're doing all of this. They're freaking out because of how popular and impactful Tucker is. Your little podcast, your little subscription platform. Like, dude, Tucker...
yeah, that's probably true. Tucker does have a lot of pull, so...
Tucker right now is the #1 podcaster in the world. He is neck and neck with Joe Rogan. This is projection. Whoa. Frankly, it is embarrassing.
Is he really that popular? Jeez, God bless him. Good luck, guys.
You are exposing that you are absolutely petrified of his influence, and therefore your strategy is to minimize his reach, which is laughable, and then attack him. You are genuinely terrified that the influencers, the podcasters, the commentators who are not backing down, who are not cowering to your very obvious blanket threats of cancellation, are running circles around your numbers. That's the only reason you're calling them little podcasts, little TV shows. And again,
little podcasts. Ooh, like little nightmares.
Listen, that's fine. You have every right to be upset. I get that you're angry. I get that you're worried. You have an uphill battle to fight now, obviously. But you all picked possibly the worst strategy to employ. And not only is it an ineffective strategy and hypocritical, but it is also just gross because these
I mean, not for nothing. They're just operating with Trump's strategy of like shaming people. That's the thing. You know, everybody, like, that's the strategy. Like, oh, you picked a really bad strategy. That's Trump's strategy. It is a bad strategy. It works for Trump. He's able to just be mean to people and be a dickhead, and it works. And you know what? I guess God bless him. I don't know. But everybody wants to copy that and emulate that. It doesn't, I don't really, you know, I don't know that it works for everybody. It might just be a Trump thing. It might just be like a Trumpism, you know? So I think that's the problem here. Oop, fuck me. Damn. That's the problem here, though. But that is what it is. And so, like, that's the problem is most people are just, like, emulating what they see Trump do because I guess they're a bunch of goblin babies or something. Instead of being like, hey, what's, like, an effective strategy? How do we, you know, that's what they're doing. They're just trying to imitate their beloved Mr. Trump. Oh, fuck.
These are the same people who have condemned the far left for their violent rhetoric for years now, especially in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination. And then, this weekend, all of these individuals got on stage and said things like this.
So I just want to say, I feel good about the Republican Party. I feel good about where we're going as a nation. We're killing all the right people and we're cutting your taxes.
I don't know whose taxes you're cutting. Maybe mine. I don't know about the, you know, any, like, poor people's taxes, you know, the people who actually need the money. I don't know if you're cutting their taxes, but hey, you know. Me when I cut taxes, but then I also destroy social programs that help people. Woo! Woo!
Trump is my favorite president. We've run out of bombs. We didn't run out of bombs in World War II.
I don't even have words.
What the fuck is he saying, dude? Holy shit.
To respond to that right now. So that's Lindsey Graham who just got up on stage. And he said the Republicans are killing the right people. Like, Lindsey, is that a Freudian slip? Like, do you want to end up on the next episode of Candace's show? Because that's...
No, I mean, he's just doing the Trump thing. You know, he's bad at it. He's doing the whole, like, oh, Department of War, kill the right people. Like, that's the whole thing. That's the implication from Trump, right? Is that we're going to kill a lot of people. That's literally the implication there. Like, it's fucking disgusting shit. But again, this is just MAGA. The problem is that these people are just trying to do what they think Trump would do. They're trying to capture Trump's energy, but they don't understand it. So they look like ridiculous. That's what it is, to be clear. You know, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but okay. I don't know if you guys ever, you know, I don't know if she does political commentary for a living or anything, but...
Basically where you're heading with this, with these types of jokes. Like, this is not what you should be doing, but Lindsey did not...
Guys, you should not make jokes like Trump does. Like, this is fucking crazy right now. Are you kidding me?
Just stop there.
I don't think that Trump would be that on the nose about it, because I don't think he's that, like... I don't think he's as dumb as Lindsey Graham, but... Oh,
this is what he said next.
But if you ever run for office as a Republican... and you embrace this weird shit, we're gonna beat your brains out.
Whoa! We're gonna beat your brain? You know, the youngsters taught me that brain is a penis. Like if your girl gives you brain? What am I saying? How do you say brain? Is it there's not an M in there. Embarrassing. Anyway. We're gonna move on.
It's absurd. Like, weren't we just talking? Weren't we collectively all outraged and losing our minds over how disgusting it was for Gavin Newsom to sit on his podcast and say that he wanted Democrats to get out in the streets and punch Republicans in the mouth?
Whoa, did he actually say that? That's fucking crazy. Is that like real? Did he say punch Republicans in the mouth? Okay, so that's not what he said. He said we need to punch back. Yes, we're going to punch back, and yes, we're going to punch back with a full weight of the fourth largest economy in the world. Okay, so very clearly he's talking about just like we gotta strike back at Republicans that are being mean to us. I don't think he means literally. Now, you could argue that maybe people will interpret that as a dog whistle. That's perfectly fine if you want to do that, but he wasn't actually saying punch Republicans in the mouth. He was just to be clear, you know what I mean? But, you know, I know that's probably not like a huge thing to be like careful in your speech. I think that's for most people. I mean, most dishonest people, at least, they don't really like to be careful when they talk. Unless of course they're defending white supremacists, then they're like super careful. She's been pretty careful about that, but lying by omission instead of outwardly saying that she likes Nick Fuentes, and maybe would even some would say, I would never say this, she wants to divorce her husband for Nick Fuentes. Now, I personally, I haven't said that. I don't think that, but a lot of people I've heard have said that before. They've said that before. You know, I've heard some people say that there's Erica Kirk, JD Vance vibes going on there. I don't know what that means personally. I don't really like rumors. You know, I'm a principled man, but you know, some other people have said that, and I said, what does that mean? And they're just like, they try to explain to me, and I don't get it. I don't get it because I'm just such a morally virtuous person.
And he argued that it was him, you know, just being, you know, exaggerating and being emotional, and yet we said, no. This is violent rhetoric. This is completely unacceptable. And now Lindsey Graham is getting on stage and saying that if you are a Republican and you're running for office and you disagree with his take on Israel, anything like that, he will beat your brains out. I mean,
he is kind of just explicitly saying that, isn't he? It is interesting though, because like, you know, if you guys are like super religious people, wouldn't you be like, oh my God, Israel's the perfect everything, right? Isn't that the whole? I mean, I thought it was ridiculous, but aren't you guys supposed to be biblical? You know?
Again, this
like maybe they're just biblical when it comes to hating gay people. I guess I don't know. Maybe they don't really care about consistency outside that. I don't know.
It's just so incredibly hypocritical. I mean, it's so hypocritical that it is almost laughable. Like, haven't we all collectively sat on our shows, sat on X, and talked about how dangerous it is and how irresponsible it was for leftists to just call anybody they hate a Nazi? I think that that's something that we all could agree with. Now, apparently, that message didn't make its way to the people who were speaking at this conference, especially not to Representative Andy Fine, because this is what he got on stage to say.
Multiple speakers have talked about the rise of anti-Semitism on the right. But it is not enough to speak in platitudes or generalities about the fight. We must call evil by its name. 5 years ago, if I was talking to my father, who's watching, hi Dad, if I was talking to my father,
hi Dad,
at 8:59 p.m. at night.
Okay, please, you don't have to say p.m. at night. You're being ridiculous. p.m. is the night, whatever.
He would say, Randy, I gotta go. Tucker Carlson's gonna be on. But
whoa!
Today, Tucker Carlson is the most dangerous anti-Semite in America. He has chosen to take on the mantle of leader of a modern-day Hitler Youth, to broadcast and feature those who celebrate the Nazis, those who call for the extermination of Israel, to defend Hamas, to even criticize President Trump for stopping Iran's nuclear ambitions.
So Tucker Carlson, in Randy Fine's mind, is the modern-day leader of Hitler Youth. I mean,
well, I mean, he's gripping onto Nick Fuentes, so like, I mean, okay.
Can you not see?
He's got that grippy on Nick Fuentes, dude.
Again, how incredibly irresponsible this is. This is the same kind of rhetoric, exactly the same, that the left has been using on us for years, that we have been fighting against, pushing back against for years. It is the same kind of inflammatory rhetoric that killed Charlie Kirk. And here you all are employing the...
Oh, I thought that was Trump's inflammatory rhetoric. Shit. I guess I don't know anything. Oh, shit.
Exact same thing. You are so blinded by your ridiculous, insane hatred of Tucker Carlson that you cannot see how irresponsible and hypocritical you are being. I mean, these tweets from Ted Cruz, I'm going to read you next, are a great example of this. So just a month ago, he tweeted this. He said, they don't kill you because you're a Nazi. They call you a Nazi so they can kill you.
Whoa, some strong words, Mr. Ted.
Political violence is a left-wing phenomenon. Enough is enough. We need to shut it down.
I've personally never seen anybody on the right be violent at all. You know, I mean, the assassin that tried to kill Trump was a conservative. You know, then you had the Hortmans that were murdered in their own home by a conservative. But if we ignore those, I mean, it's pretty much, you know, any incel. Those aren't conservative either, of course.
Down. And then in response to Fuentes and Tucker this week,
they typically vote very Democrat. I don't know if you guys know this, but incels typically very Democrat. So like all those incel school shooters, they're really not. Those aren't conservatives or anything like that. They're obviously like staunchly left-leaning, of course.
He tweeted this. Trump's bombing of the Ayatollah's nuclear facilities made the little Nazi mad. Good.
Ooh,
so now you're
in reference to Nick Fuentes, that literal Nazi.
Turning around and you're calling somebody that you don't like a Nazi. You're doing this out of blind rage.
Okay. You know, maybe it is blind rage. I just kind of wonder.
Hitler was a pedophile and kind of a pagan. It's like, well, he was also really fucking cool.
Oh.
So
that's crazy. Don't mind this guy. Although this is from his video, Full Circle History. Anyway, how do we explain that? I think that might make you a Nazi person. I don't know. Who else says they like Hitler? He's a bad guy, be clear. I don't know if you guys need to hear that. That's a brave take from me, of course. That's, you know, this is what I'm saying though. Like, Brett, what is wrong with you? Like, what are you doing? This entire video is like unhinged rantings of, in my opinion, a simp for Nick Fuentes. She's giving me Erica Kirk, JD Vance vibes. I don't know if you know this, though, that Nick Fuentes likes femboys. So you're going to have a lot to contest with there. Sorry about your divorce. Anyway, I don't understand. Like, this entire video, she just refuses to acknowledge that Nick Fuentes is a literal Nazi that praises Hitler. And just like spews like nonsense. Like, you are lying by omission when you don't bring stuff up like this. It's embarrassing for you. Why would you do this? Why are you sacrificing your credibility for this? You know, I think this is the first time that something difficult has really come up that she's had to contend with socially when it comes to anything. Because, like, what if the last several years have been just building up to conservatives being very, 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 very like this? They've been glued together because they were culturally weak. Now they're culturally in the up and up. They are the cultural dominators. All of a sudden, massive fracturing of different audiences. And now, like, you know, you guys haven't had to engage intellectually in anything because it was just like, if they're conservative, they're good. That's it. Now all of a sudden we have to contest with like actual like thoughts and like, oh man, like, is it okay to do that? Oh fuck. Like, you got, and you're crumbling. You're crumbling as you're defending Nick Fuentes from being called a Nazi, the Nazi guy from being called a Nazi. It's strange. It's very strange, and it's very showing. These are the moments that are showing. So, I mean, you do you with your credibility, but just let you know, you look ridiculous. Okay.
Because you're so angry that the conservative base's attitudes are rapidly changing, that Nick Fuentes is getting national attention, and so you have turned around and in response, you are compromising.
Hey, do you think it's a good thing if he gets national attention?
Your own values and anger, which is such a dangerous precedent to set. And
Okay, got it.
unfortunately for you guys, yes, the attitudes are changing. So again, it makes sense why this group is incredibly frantic. This is an article here. Take a mark.
You know, I think I don't know that she likes Nick Fuentes. I think that she's terrified of. I think that she's developed probably a pretty racist audience, and she doesn't want to lose it. She's like, I really enjoy these guys. I really enjoy their money. So you know what? Hey guys, what the Sigma? What the Sigma? You know, now we're having this whole like performative shit fest here.
March 2025 Pew poll as an example. While the survey shows strong support for Israel among GOP voters, it also reveals that more and more younger Republicans are souring on the country. 50% of GOP voters under the age of 50 expressed a negative view of Israel, compared to just 35% in 2022. These numbers line up with a number of recent polls, including an August 2025 University of Maryland Critical Issue Survey, which found that just 24% of Republican voters aged 18 to 34 sympathize more with Israelis than Palestinians. And this is just one of the many surveys on the subject. And so whether you agree with that or disagree with that, whether you love it or hate it, this is just the fact of our current political climate. And
what does that mean? Like, I don't really understand what's happening here. This is like what she's saying. If you retract from the conservative base of like her audience, is what she's saying is like, hey guys, I know I know that the people on the left are crazy, but this is just how they feel. So like, we can't really criticize them. That's what she's effectively saying. She's camping herself in conservative, right? So in her conservative sphere, what she's saying is stupid the second that it leaves it. Hey guys, there are more people on the conservative party that are fucking crazy and hate Jewish people. And like, we just have to, that's just the reality. You can't criticize these people. Now imagine she stopped identifying as a conservative. She identified as an American. Hey guys, this group of people I disagree with on the left in her case is fucking crazy. We're just gonna deal with that. It is what it is. Like, you see how stupid it looks the second that you retract like one step. It's ridiculous. What you're saying is just absolutely ridiculous. It makes absolutely no sense. What you're saying is you can't criticize people who are Nazis for being Nazis because you don't want to make them upset or something. You've gone like conservative woke. You've gone so woke that's like, you think that people who say they like Hitler are somehow not Nazis because I guess they're just doing a thing. I don't even understand. Now I do understand. She wants to maintain an audience of people who are very right-leaning and young. She's a young person. You know, I think she's like 23, and she wants the young audience of people, and she wants to stay relevant with them. And so she's like, hey, guys, and maybe even part of her is just like false for it. I don't really know. Like, she actually doesn't think it's that bad because maybe she's just so like disconnected from the reality of the world, and like doesn't understand like how toxic and bad these things are. You know, just like a new generation, they think that they're just words and that words can't really do anything, but obviously they can start pretty drastic social movements. But like, what are you doing? What are you doing? It makes no sense to me.
And guess what? This behavior that we saw on display at this coalition, this conference, is only going to push more good people away from you and your message because it is so hypocritical, because it is so inflammatory. And I'm obviously upset about what I heard, and I think that what people did on that stage was, you know, dangerous and vile, but this whole thing is also just...
Okay.
Frankly, comical. Like, I mean, a room of 200 people coming together to shit on a podcaster. Like, this is not serious behavior. But again,
so what I find that so funny what she said there. It's like, so all these people getting together to shit on a podcaster. Like, what the heck? That's so silly. Before, you were talking up how, like, Tucker Carlson was almost as popular as Joe Rogan. And now you're doing the same thing he did. It's just a podcaster. That's the insinuation of those words. You're really going to go crazy over just like a podcaster? Like, it's so silly. Just before, you were giving that guy criticism for not taking podcasting, like, seriously enough. You know, me personally, I think we need to take pod racing seriously. You know? It's a real fucking sport, dude, you know?
Again, who is surprised when it comes to these characters? Like Randy Fine, if you don't know who he is, he's a representative from Florida. He's the same guy who bragged about not washing his hands after he had a handshake with Netanyahu.
Whoa, that's crazy. How come you're waiting till now to talk about this?
Repeatedly introduced bills to criminalize anti-Semitism, infringing upon free speech. I mean, he obviously, I'm sorry to say, but he obviously cares more about Israel than he does, you know, principles like free speech. So, buddy, like, my advice to you, Randy Fine, is just move to Israel at this point. Like, considering you had to go through anger management classes a few years ago, I genuinely think you would probably be happier if you just moved to Israel. And
that's fucking crazy. How come you're just talking about this now? Interesting how they conveniently talk about these things, you know, right when they feel safe to.
Look at him. That's just a fact. It's a nudge of encouragement. I want everybody to be happy. I want everybody to be healthy. I think you would be happier if you just moved to Israel. You could be over there singing songs with Mike Huckabee.
Whoa. The Mike Huckabee, dude?
That's Mike Huckabee's take on Sweet Home Alabama, but performed in Israel about Israel. Okay, sorry.
I love that. Thank you so much for showing us that.
I just had to include it because I thought that was just so incredibly funny. And again, the entire thing is funny. Like, I'm just looking at this conference, I'm looking at the state of conservatism. I'm like, this is not a serious movement right now. It is so full of division and finger pointing and anger.
That's what you're doing, no?
And people are compromising their values.
Guys, we just have to be nice to each other. This is so nice. Guys, we need to do what conservatives founded the party on. Being nice to people. What the fuck?
Right and left, again, which is such an awful precedent to set. You cannot act out of anger. You should be focused on solutions and strategy and digging your heels in your principles so that you do not get deterred. And I think
I'm so confused. I just want to be clear. Whether you want to criticize it or not, that is their principles. The principle of not liking white supremacists or, excuse me, anti-Jewish sentiment. I just want to be clear because they probably don't care about that white supremacist part. But I think that they're being principled, generally speaking. Like, that's just too far for their principles.
I think that this is such an important lesson even outside of politics, because one of the hardest things in life is not compromising when things get hard, is not going against your values when it would
What does that mean, compromising? What do you think they're compromising on?
Be convenient to. And I think the ability to stand strong in your principles even when times are hard is what makes a great person. That is what makes somebody who is, you know, worth following and is worth respecting. And again, it's not just about politics. That could be as you're dealing with a relationship, as you're dealing with work or friendships, whatever it might be. You cannot compromise your principles because it's easier or because you're hurt or because you're angry.
You're asking them to compromise their principles by accepting somebody who doesn't like Jews. I'm so confused. Like, I don't think that she understands what she's saying. Like, I think she's just talking. She's just saying things. Like, she's completely non-logical in anything that she talks about. This is kind of embarrassing for her.
Never results in anything positive. At the end of the day, you have to be able to be honest with yourself. You have to have integrity with yourself. And compromising everything that you have stated to believe over years and years and years, that is the complete opposite of all of that. Like, seriously, guys, my advice would be, if you are so worried about the influence of people like Tucker, you need better PR. You need a better strategy. That is the only thing that is going to help at this point. What is not going to help is threatening cancellation, deplatforming, and turning your back on all of the principles that have made this country great, that make conservatism great. I understand that
what makes conservatism great? I'm a little confused.
You're angry. It makes sense. But be better. Be a better leader. Because right now, watching all of those speeches, I feel like I'm watching some episode of Veep or Arrested Development unfold. Because again, it's comical. It is so blatantly hypocritical that it is just comical. We are not a serious movement.
Gotcha. So I think that what we've just heard here, just to be clear, is we heard what Brett Cooper has learned about what it means to be a conservative. And for her, what it means to be a conservative is to just agree with everybody else. Like, regardless of the specifics, and then just figure it out from there. That's how she learned what a conservative is. It's not really so much about, like, being, you know, it's about, like, a general conservative policy of saying you're conservative, and I guess and everything else doesn't matter. I don't know exactly what her core principles are, but maybe it's lower taxes or something, or less immigrants in the country. I don't really know. And then everything else doesn't really matter, and we should all be friends, even if like one person like hates another person. Like if you are a Jewish conservative, like you need to fall in line with Nick Fuentes. That's what she is saying. That's what she's indirectly saying. And I think that for the first time I've ever watched her content, I've like, oh, this is actually kind of sad. Like this is the first time she's ever gotten like intellectually checked by something going on, and ever, because the conservatives were so weak in the cultural narrative that was the strategy that you needed to engage with. Hey, we have to be friends even if we disagree with a lot of different things, because like we are culturally weak. We are very culturally like not in the up. But now that's changing. There's more power in there, and now she's like, "Oh fuck! Why do I contend with anything?" Like she doesn't know how, you know. So I don't think that she's very strongly rooted into conservatism in any meaningful capacity, outside of probably a couple of like weaker points, like maybe lower taxes and stuff. And I like money because I make it by saying conservative shit. And I'm married, and I like God. I don't know. And like this is pretty much just like a litmus test for, I don't know, like actually understanding what the fuck you're talking about.